Hello everyone, how are you all? And how did your English exam go? I saw the paper was pretty simple. It was not as threatening, as intimidating as term 1, right? It was quite simple, and the questions, especially for the literature, grammar also, grammar, writing, everything, reading, and even literature, whatever we have done, most of the questions came from that. And I saw that the paper, I saw the paper, and I saw that from literature we had discussed a lot of questions. When I was giving you the video of how to write short questions, how to write impressive long answers, I saw some of the questions even came from the questions that we discussed there, right? So I hope you guys have done wonderfully well. So today we will discuss and analyze the paper. I will not discuss each and every question, but definitely literature I'll discuss completely, but reading section you will get the answer key. I'll just have a look at the para and we will discuss about it, like how was it and all of that. Answers for the reading section you will definitely get. So what was the paragraph about? The first passage was about sifting through the sands of time. So wonderful passage here. When you're on the beach, you're stepping on ancient mountains, skeletons of marine animals, even tiny diamonds. Sand provides a mineral treasure trove, a record of geology's earth-changing processes. Sand, as children, we play on it. As adults, we relax on it. It's a beautiful passage, right? And that is how the passage goes. And what was the question like? You have 5 questions for 5 marks. You can easily score 5 out of 5 here. How is sand a treasure trove? It is right there at the very beginning of the paragraph, right? So what you need to do when you write your answers, what you need to make sure is you write in your words instead of copy pasting the words, right? Instead of copy pasting the exact words in the passage, you can write it on your own. How is sand both a pain and pleasure? This is the easiest question ever, right? So a little bit of reading, like it was not very difficult, you would also agree. And the next question was, the next passage was extraction and purification of drinking water, right? So this is about this is a fact-based passage, factual passage, right? Some consumers choose to purchase bottled drinking water rather than relying on city tap water supplies. Bottled water has typically been extracted from underground sources, etc., etc. So it is all about extraction and purification of water. Under what condition does a natural spring emerge? We'll get it in the passage itself. Please make sure that all your answers, they have been written according to the passage. Whatever has been provided to you in the passage, you need to stick to that, and you need to write the same answer from the passage but in your own words. I'm sure you must have done it very well and you can easily score. The passage was very scoring and easy. Next comes the writing section. So you had, first you have to identify which kind of letter did they give you. You are Ankit. The question that the paper that I have, the question says, you are Ankita or Ankit. You wish to pursue a course on data science. Write a letter to the director, director, Scalar Data Science, inquiring about the eligibility, duration, fees, scholarship, placement, etc. Very simply, you have identified it is an inquiry letter, right? Inquiring about this. It's a letter of inquiry, okay? And the points are also given. What do you have to inquire about? Eligibility, duration, fees, scholarship, placements, okay, etc. And if you have any other point to mention, you can also inquire about that. Okay, so we have done inquiry, letter of inquiry letter. I was the other day I was already telling you, like, these are the pointers that you need to mention. Okay, so I hope you have this was a very simple essay, and this was a very simple letter. You need to write your subject properly, and whom do you need to address this letter to? Director. Which director? Scalar Data Science. Okay, and please write your name. I hope you have written your name properly. It's Ankita or Ankit. Okay, so I hope you've not written both, any one, right? So that was and yes, inquiry about inquiry about a course on data science. So first you need to talk about, first you have to set the context, like where did you come across this course, right? So maybe in an advertisement or anything, and then you have to show your interest in the course, that okay, I am, and you have to mention a little bit about yourself, like what is your educational qualification and all of that. Then you can say that okay, I am interested in that course, in this course. So show your interest. First set the context, then talk about yourself a little bit, your qualification and what makes you interested in data science and what makes you interested in joining this course, and then go to the details and ask about the details of this course, and then add the conclusion, right? So this should be the structure of your letter, very simple letter. And then we have the analytical paragraph. What was the paragraph about? In the technology driven world, children are spending longer hours of screen time, leading to concerns regarding health and social skills. Write a paragraph or not more than 120 words analyzing the given information. Okay, so iPad, mobile phone, laptop, internet, social media, online classes, research, entertainment. And what are the effects? Obesity, weakening eyesight, poor skills, increasing isolation, sedentary lifestyle. So based on this paragraph, based on the data that has been provided to you, you have to write a proper analytical paragraph. I think most of you would have done the letter because it was much easier. Even if you've done the analytical paragraph, I hope you have used contrasting words. I hope you have given a proper introduction, body and conclusion. And you have written it in a single paragraph, not divided the paragraph into 3. And comparison and contrast would have helped you to score here. Next comes the editing part. Now see, it's a very simple question. See, what about low carb and keto diet that is popular today? Question mark. The first one has been done for you. Diet has been corrected and it would be diets. So then what about low carb and keto diets? The next line was that is popular today, question mark. So if you are using plural, diets, obviously is would become are, right? So very simple. If it is plural, subject verb agreement, is would become are. So the next one would be, error is and the correct one would be are. May they play a major role on managing diabetes? Okay, so may will be changed to do. Do they play a major role, okay, in managing diabetes? Okay, so do they, because may they play is making no sense. Do they play, you are asking a question. So do they play a major role in managing diabetes, not on managing, right? So anyways, you would be getting the answer key from CBSE very soon, but according to me, I think this should be the answer. Next we have the conversation, that is reported speech, change to reported speech, narration change, 2 marks for that, 2 blank spaces. I'm not reading the paragraph completely, just to do it quickly. Rita then asked her mother dash, the last 2, look at the last 2, give me French fries and milkshake. So how, this is an imperative sentence. So I told you the structure for imperative sentence. How do you convert imperative sentence from direct to indirect? To plus verb, right? So Rita then asked her mother to give her, me would be changed to her, French fries and milkshake, right? So me, please change that me into her, okay? Mother warned her that if you live on junk food, you will spoil your health, okay? So what do you think? Mother warned her that she will spoil her health if she lives on junk food, right? Okay, now we come to the literature section. The first question was, how according to Buddha can one obtain peace of mind? This is from Sermon at Banaras, and this answer is right at the last paragraph of your textbook, where Buddha says we can never obtain peace of mind if we grieve for the loss of our loved ones. We must draw out that arrow of lamentation, complaint and grief and become composed. only when one has received only when we receive the state of calm, by overcoming our sorrows, we would be blessed. Okay, so that is how, according to Buddha, one can receive or obtain or attain peace of mind. Next question is, don't bite your nails, Amanda, don't hunch your shoulders. We were doing this poem yesterday as day before yesterday. What does this reflect about Amanda's mother and Amanda? So very simple. What does it reflect? 1 point for what does it reflect for Amanda's mother, 1 for Amanda. So what does it reflect for Amanda's mother? That she is extremely angry, frustrated. You can say that the use of exclamation mark shows that her mother is very angry and she is frustrated. She is constantly giving a set of instructions in a nagging tone and in a loud pitch. Okay, this is something which is, so her, what is her tone? You can talk about the tone, we did that also. So tone of anger, that you can say irritation, right? You can talk about the use of exclamation mark, then you would impress the examiner. And what about Amanda? Amanda is, what does this reflect about Amanda? So these two lines, what does it reflect about Amanda? That Amanda is not doing these, not following these instructions. She's biting her nails and she's hunching her shoulder and sitting. She's not maintaining a proper structure. So she is still in that transitional zone from moving from the state of childhood to the state of adulthood. So she's in a transitional phase. She is in the adolescence, a teenager, so she is kind of confused. She still has those habits of biting her nails and not sitting upright, not maintaining a proper structure. So this also shows that the mother wants to upbring the child by properly instructing her and disciplining her. But this becomes too much for Amanda, so much so that she feels stifled and suffocated. Okay, so these are the points that you can write in your own words. Next question is Walt Whitman. This we did in our, when I was talking about how to write 2-mark questions. This question I discussed. Walt Whitman in Animals shows his preference for living with animals justified. If you have missed that video, please go back to that video where I talked about how to write 2 marks answers. You will get the answer of this particular question. We discussed it. So if you had followed my video there, you would have got this answer absolutely correct, right? You would have also got the technique of writing this answer, right? So then we have the next, character sketch of Lomo. I think this also we discussed. Character sketch of Lomo. I discussed this for the long answer, that is 4 marks. Lomo or Natalia, 1 character sketch I discussed for the 4-mark question. So please go back to the 4-mark question video also and refer to that. But I will still discuss this for 2 marks. So since this is a 2-mark question, you don't need to write much. 4 lines is fine. 3 to 4 lines, that is fine. So 2 points basically. So you can start with saying that Lomo is a character from the play The Proposal by Anton Chekhov. You can talk about his age. He is at a critical stage, 35-year-old bachelor, and the playwright describes him as large and hearty. And you can also say that he is a very suspicious landowner because he fights about that piece of land, right? And he's a hypochondriac. If you have mentioned hypochondriac, very good. Good job, guys. Good job. Who is obsessed with his imaginary illness and his sleepless nights. Okay, and please listen to this very important point. It is through this that Chekhov satirizes the attitude of the Russian upper middle class society towards marriage. If you have written this point, that means you've gone an extra mile, and kudos to you, you have impressed your examiner. Very good. Okay, then you can also talk about how he loves to lead a simple and quiet life instead of searching for a real love. He was searching for Natalia's hand. He decides to marry Natalia. Later he got involved in a conflict. Also, one more point, he was a hypochondriac, so he was ill, right? His illness is representation of the diseased society. If you have written this, I don't think you would have written this, but yes, listen to it right now. the illness that Lomov had, the author wants to represent, it is a metaphor for the representation of the illness of the society. It indicates individual frailty, because individually he was frail is weak, okay, as well as the societal degeneration. So the entire play is about that, how society has degenerated, right? When I was dealing with this chapter in the theme also, I talked about this societal factor and marriage factor at length. So if you were attentive, you would have got this correct. Okay, the next question was pretty straightforward. The essential qualities. So you know that: first rate mind, scientific curiosity, the will to win, right? So these that was completely straight question. Describe the feelings of the lawyer. Okay, now what do you think would have been the feelings of the lawyer? He was hurt, he was ashamed, embarrassed, because he was reduced to a laughing stock, right, when he came to know that about the reality of the hack driver, and his delusion that people were simple there in that village, that was completely shattered, right? Then we have what attracts visitors to Coorg. So you have to talk about all the tourist attractions there. First you can talk about Coorg is the where is Coorg located? Mangalore and Mysore is the Scotland of India, right? The visitors, it's a piece of heaven, right? And the visitors are attracted by the evergreen forest, the hills, then the river Kaveri. Then you can talk about the famous fish, okay. The adventure sports, talk about the adventure sports, okay, various adventure sports have been mentioned in the text, right? Then India's Tibetan settlement, largest Tibetan settlement, Bailakupi Island. Then talk about Brahmagiri Hills, which gives the panoramic view. So all these spots, if you have mentioned, you have done a great job. Okay, next question was, okay, now we come to the long questions. Character sketch, straight away character sketch of Natalia. So character sketch of Natalia. Natalia is, you can start again with, Natalia is one of the main characters in the play, okay, and she is the 25-year-old daughter of a wealthy landowner, Shubukov. We learned from Lomov's soliloquy that she's an excellent housekeeper, she's not bad looking and well educated. Please, you have to write these points, because that is how the character begins, that is how the character is described at the very beginning. Even before she appears, we learned this from the soliloquy, right? Finally, this anti-romantic heroine destroys all expectations of romance in the situation that is supposed to be romantic. So we thought that, okay, this is going to be a love story between, that was the expectation, right? But she destroys all this. She's dressed in an apron, and what was her situation? And she was shelling peas, if you remember. So that romantic vision of yours, Natalia would be dressed up like a heroine, okay, that is completely shattered. And stacking hay to a man who has come with a marriage proposal. So this is really hilarious and humorous. She shows no trace of the lovesick cat attitude that her father led us to expect. Her father said that, oh my god, she is lovesick cat, she would definitely agree with the marriage proposal. But this lady, she is spirited and she mocks and argues with Lomov unabashed, but gets extremely excited and restless to call him back also when she comes to know about the proposal of the marriage. And in her extreme eagerness to get married, she also accepts the proposal, which was never uttered by Lomov. Lomov never uttered the proposal. Okay, and sorry, I missed one point for Lomov. For Lomov, you can say that Lomov has the habit of beating around the bush. That is a major point which you should not miss. Okay, and then kisses the confused Lomov at her father's command, because Lomov was unconscious, right? He was still in a dilemma and he was still in that phase. Okay, he was not properly in that world. He was still in his unconscious world, right? But and then she kisses him at that point of time at the father's order or command, but again starts to argue immediately after this. So thus Chekhov uses her as a tool to satirize the process of courtship and marriage. very important line if you have mentioned this. So the characters that Anton Chekhov has introduced, they all have a purpose. If you have been able to bring out that purpose in 1 or 2 lines when you're writing the character sketch, then kudos to you. Then you have impressed your examiner. And that is exactly what I meant when I said that you have to read between the lines, you have to understand the theme and understand the chapter's depth, and then you will be able to impress your examiner by your answers, right? Then you have to write a speech on education and girls education and empowerment. So this is a speech. If I were in place of you, then I would have skipped this and I would have done 1 and 3. But even if you have done 2, very good job. So when you're writing a speech, it should have a proper heading. What is your heading? It is already given, girl education and empowerment. You can start with a quote here to just attract the attention of the audience or the readers. Okay, any quote on women empowerment or any quote on the importance of education in the life of a girl child. Okay, and then you go on to describe how girl is deprived of education and the discrimination in our society that the girl child faces. And then you can say what are the root causes of this discrimination. Okay, so many factors are responsible. For example, you could talk about poverty, distance of schooling, okay, education, insecurity, negative behavior of the society, the conservative mindset, okay, child marriage, child labor, okay, all these factors you could talk about. You could then talk about people, how you could talk about the progress of progress of women education from the time of independence. So you can talk about how Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, these were the 2 people who played a very crucial role during the British rule in women education. I'm sure you know that already. They paid attention to women education. They also did a lot for women education. And then Jyotiba Phule, also Baba Saheb Ambedkar, they also took various initiatives to provide education for the women of India. So if you have written this, and concluding point could be again talking about how education would change the society, and how even Mahatma Gandhi said that when a man is educated, only that person, the man, is educated. But if a girl is educated, the entire family becomes educated. You can write something, you can begin with this quote actually, right? So or you can end with this quote. So that is how your speech, the flow of your speech would look like. Okay. The last question was, Valli was a mature girl ahead of her age. This one also we had discussed when we were discussing Valli. Madam Rides the Bus, the last class, right? So she was, you can say that, you can talk about her curiosity. She was mature, clever, she was practical beyond her age. Her strongest desire was to go out and take that bus ride, and for this, how she meticulously planned, gathering information about distance, money, fare, and she was determined to resist even all kinds of temptation that came her way, to buy peppermint, to buy toys, or to ride on that merry-go-round in order to save that 60 paise. One way was 30 paise, the other way was so total 60 paise she needed, right? She then boarded the bus without anyone's help. Even though the conductor was trying to help her, she refused that help. She then did not even talk to strangers. Okay, and she did not like being called madam or child, because she thought that she was much ahead of her age. She was not a child, okay, she was mature. She showed that I have a ticket, okay, so I can pay for myself, so don't treat me as a child. And then she also she refused the drink that was offered by the conductor. So this shows that she is commanding, she is confident, and she's dependent on herself. She never asks money from her mother. She arranges it all by herself. And then this also shows her determination and her maturity, which was much ahead of her age. So this is how you would write your answer. So that was all for the paper discussion. I hope this paper discussion helped you. If you have any specific question that you want me to answer, please post it in the comment section. And I would like to also tell you that we are now, English and More is now a family of 503 young learners. So thank you so much guys for that, and please share this video. Thank you for your support. Please keep supporting the same way as you had been doing so far. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and also if you have any questions from any of your paper, because this was just one set I discussed. Literature was, I think, common to all the sets. I think reading comprehension was more or less common. If you have any other question that you want me to answer, please type in the comment section. I would be happy, more than happy, to take your questions and answer them. Okay, so I hope you are now getting ready for your next exam, so I won't take much of your time. Thank you so much guys. Take care. All the best for your next exams. Prepare well. Bye.